The Mersey Novices Hurdle is next, sponsored by Turner's, another Grade 1 over 2.5 miles this time. Ballyfad and Bossman Jack were sent off 11 to 4, joint favourites.
And they're off. Away racing in the Grade 1 Turner's Mersey Novices Hurdle over the 2.5 miles, and racing towards the first of their 11 flights of hurdles. The French raider Rooster Crowing is the first one to begin from Charisma Cat and a handy masked man. Ballyfad is wider as they all safely stream over flight number 1. Also well up with the speed early is Cossack Dudery in the white and the red. A couple of lengths then back to find Bossman Jack. He's in company with Soldier Reeves, and about 4 lengths away there to Only for Frankie from Montimares. And then Scorpio Rising, Zanderbad, and the back marker is Lord Byron. They start to turn out of the far side then the first time, and it's Rooster Crowing. He goes along with a length advantage over Charisma Cat, who's racing in second. Cossack Dudery is back in third. In between the horses then, Masked Man and JJ Slevin. Wider from that one is Ballyfad Maroon and White. Green sleeves for Bossman Jack, racing back in 6th place. From Soldier Reeves, behind him then to the inside is Only for Frankie, Montimares and Zanderbad the next two. Then the grey Scorpio Rising and the back marker Lord Byron under Harry Cobden. So into the home straight, and quite a heavy shower of rain approaching their next flight. Number 3, a Rooster Crowing, pops over clear. Landing in second, Charisma Cat. We're back in third, Masked Man from Cossack Dudery. Then Ballyfad and Bossman Jack from Only for Frankie. And then Soldier Reeves and Montimares between those at the rear of the field. As they now race on towards flight number 5, which will be the last in another circuit's time. Rooster Crowing comes down towards the 5th and is over a couple of lengths in front to Charisma Cat. Touching down in second, Masked Man is back in third. And then Cossack Dudery to the inside of Bossman Jack. Ballyfad wider from that couple of runners. Then Montimares and Soldier Reeves is a place better than Only for Frankie. Then Scorpio Rising in Zanderbad and Lord Byron, as the rain is really coming down very hard indeed, as they begin to race left-handed and head out for the final lap of the Turner's Mersey Novices Hurdle. It's Rooster Crowing. He's trying to make all of the running in this Grade 1 prize, leading from Charisma Cat, racing in second position. Behind him then, Masked Man and Bossman Jack. And to the inside of those two, Cossack Dudery from Ballyfad. Another couple away to Montimares. He's together with Soldier Reeves. Then Only for Frankie and Scorpio Rising in Zanderbad and Lord Byron at the first hurdle over on the far side again, and Lord Byron was quite untidy at that particular hurdle. Flight number 7 then next. Rooster crowing from Charisma Cat. We're back in third, Masked Man. Bossman Jack is behind those with Ballyfad. Then Kursak Dudery from Montimaris and Soldier Reeves, and 3 lengths away to Only for Frankie. Scorpio Rising to his outside. Then Lord Byron and Zandabad approaching the final jump over on the back straight. Rooster crowing joined to the outside by Charisma Cat. Masked Man remains well there in third. Ballyfad is next in fourth. And then amongst those two is Bossman Jack and Kursak Dudery still toward the inside of Montimaris, and then Soldier Reeves and Only for Frankie. Scorpio Rising in Zandabad and Lord Byron. So on the side of the course then, it is Rooster crowing, still just about with his head in front from Charisma Cats. And then back in third is Masked Man, and Bossman Jack and Ballyfad are still chasing up the pace. Soldier Reeves and Montimaris, then Kursak Dudery, Only for Frankie and Scorpio Rising, Lord Byron and Zandabad. They're about to level towards home then. 3 left to take in the Turner's Mersey Novices Hurdle. And with the noseband, Rooster crowing joined by Charisma Cat. Far side then, Masked Man. Bossman Jack jumps up well there. Ballyfad coming right into it. Together there with Soldier Reeves towards the outside. They're on the 1 towards 2 out then. Charisma Cat now with the nose in front from Bossman Jack and Ballyfad either side. Then Soldier Reeves completes out the front wave of 4. Montimaris is back in 5th, and they've booted away then from Scorpio Rising, and they're staying on Lord Byron. Here's the final hurdle. Bossman Jack, he makes a bit of a mistake, gets away with it, landed by a length or so to Soldier Reeves, who's fighting on for second with Ballyfad, and then came Charisma Cat and Montimaris, but it's Bossman Jack, driven away by Harry Skelton, is cleared away by 6 lengths on the run towards the line, and Bossman Jack goes on to win the Turner's Mersey Novices Hurdle. Bossman Jack the winner. Soldier Reeves and Ballyfad are very tight for second and third. Then Lord Byron, Montimaris, clear then from Charisma Cat and Scorpio Rising.
Bossman Jack wins very impressively, continues the fine week for Harry and Dan Skelton. The 11-4 joint favourite does the business. It's the second Grade 1 in the afternoon for the Skelton team. Second was Soldier Reeves, also for that team, and third was Ballyfad. In the driving rain, we've seen a bit of a standout performance here from Bossman Jack, who has done this really nicely. Was well back to do so before the off, and has been nicely campaigned, I think, by the Skelton team. Not overfaced by any stretch of the imagination. Started off his January and February with 2 novice hurdle victories, and then went to Cheltenham and was a pretty good 5th, really, behind King Rasco Grey. But this is certainly a career best. He's been delivered with aplomb here by the Skelton team and comes home a very nice winner of the Mersey. Lots to look forward to about him next year.
It has been a great day for Dan Skelton. It's been a great meeting, great season for Dan Skelton. I think we can call you champion trainer-elect by now, with a record-breaking prize money, which you've only added to with a 1-2 there. And that must have been a very satisfying race to watch.
It was, yeah. Absolutely delighted with both horses. Thought going into it they both had a massive chance. Being honest, I thought Bossman had the better chance. Just, I can be honest about that. Des, who owns a second horse, he even said to me, I think Bossman will beat him today. But what a great race he's run as only a 5-year-old Soldier Reeves. But Bossman, he's a child's brain, this horse. And on the way around, you can see his jump in. He hops off one leg sometimes. At the last, he's unconventional, but what he's doing is he's just getting from A to B. I think when we can iron all that out, and it'll have to be on his terms a little, not in that he's an awkward horse, but it'll just be when he's ready for all of that to happen. It could go, I'm never going to place the expectations of a Gold Cup on a horse at this young stage of his life, but I feel like he has, all the potential.
Yeah, okay. I mean, because he was running really well when making that mistake at the last in the Turners, and that form, that race looks really deep, doesn't it?
It does, and you can get frustrated with horses and say, you're making that mistake, but it was possible that happened with him. It didn't cost us winning. We might have been second to King Rasco, but I was not frustrated with it because I knew that he'd repay us in spades in the future, and that type of mistake could happen with his inexperience. So he didn't have a very busy autumn because we gave him a surgery at the back end of last year.
What was that?
He had a bone spur at the back of his suspensory, so we just had to shave the bone off there just to stop it rubbing. So it wasn't like an injury. It was just something that was going to irritate him for some time if we didn't do it. So we did that, and he is really, really good. He's got a massive engine.
And from your comments earlier, does that mean that he'll go chasing next season?
Yeah, definitely. I think we have to, because I think you then have to go and really mould him. I think if you spent too long over hurdles, you would, you want to. It's so important that every education, every lesson he learns, is a lesson to step on to further up that ladder. I think if you spend some time giving him unnecessary lessons, they're a waste of time.
Yeah.
So we'll try and get him all the way.
And how about Soldier Reeves?
Remarkable run. Yeah, he's only a 5-year-old.
Next year?
Yeah, I think we might even stay hurdling.
Right.
Tristan got off and said we'll go chasing, and I appreciate that, because he does feel like a chaser and he will be a chaser, but I don't know, I just feel like there's no doubt that horse has to be better at 3, and there's no doubt that horse has to be better 5 into 6 than he was 4 into 5. I just want to explore that.
Harry Skelton was on board Bossman Jack in the Mersey, initiating that 1-2 for his brother. Congratulations. He looks like a horse with a large amount of ability. He just doesn't quite know where to put his feet yet.
Yeah, thanks. No, he has. I think at the minute, you're seeing a lot of ability, but from a long way from the finished article, really. I think there's a lot to come from him.
Dan wasn't quite saying he is a Gold Cup horse, but he thinks he has the potential to maybe go on that journey. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. At the minute, I think he's doing it on raw ability rather than actually knowing what to do. He's still very raw at his jumps. The last, he sort of bunny hopped. I don't want to relive the past, but I think at Cheltenham, had he jumped the last really well, I think he'd have gone very close. He was hitting the line strong. So his jumping's got to come together. I think that'll take time, but all the raw ingredients are there to make up into a good horse, I think, one day.
And that race at Cheltenham is turning out to be pretty deep, I think.
Yeah, I think so. The form's obviously backing up. The horse today that was second, like he again, good horse, obviously all the form's standing up.
Yeah, Zeus Power yesterday as well. Dan's thinking going chasing next season. Would you endorse that?
Yeah, I think well, he's the trainer, so he ultimately always has
you have a say.
He always has the last. He always has the last say. So yeah, look. I think we're going crack on now over fences. Whether it happens next year, all further and further fences, remains to be seen. Because I think everything's just still taking a bit of time for him to just mature and all to just sink in. But he's got a lot of ability. We've always known that.
We chatted a couple of days ago to Dan about Panic Attack for the Grand National. What are your thoughts about her? Does she have the stamina for it?
I think she definitely has the stamina. I think she's ticking a lot of boxes. She stays, she jumps, she's got a good weight. She's in good form. Hopefully that continues. I think, who knows, is she good enough? We'll see.
Some people say that the national, her asset is jumping. She's an absolutely mustard jumper. Yeah. And some people say, oh, those fences, that's not as much of an asset as it used to be. What would you say to them?
That's the thing, isn't it? What does everyone want? Some people want different things, but the fence is still there to be jumped. There's still a test. We've still got a Grand National. We're still all here. It's the greatest day's racing of the year. It's unbelievable. Chatting to John Joe Neal earlier, and just like, you're buzzing. You just can't wait to get out there. It just brings, I think you come in here and be lucky enough to get a ride in the Grand National. You might win it. You never know.
Well, very best of luck. A couple of races in between. I wish you luck for those as well. Good to talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The winning horse is a golf's horse.
Next up, the 2:30 is a 3-mile handicap chase, and a Premier handicap at that. Lookaway was really well backed. 7-2 at the off for Neil King.
They're off. Racing for the William Hill Handicap Chase, registered as the freebooter. Heading to the first, Lookaway's handy, leave of absence on the far side. Over well was Josh the Boss, and Glenn Gooley on the near side in the blue with the yellow armlets. Uncle Bert is back in 5th. They're followed by Chance Another One, Brave Fortune in red and white checks as they jump an open ditch. Out wide is Confusion, then Cruise Control. In Love is further back in the field from Deep Cave in yellow sleeves on the inside. Mr. Hope Street is towards the rear in the early stages. The back marker is Bad. On towards fence number 3 with just over 2 circuits ahead of them. And Glenn Gooley on the near side will rise first. From Lookaway in second place. In third, then Josh the Boss, and Leave of Absence is 4th on the rail. A length then back to Uncle Bert, followed by Chance Another One and Brave Fortune together, and Confusion on the outside. Cruise Control back on the inside. Deep Cave as they round this left-handed turn away from the grandstand, the main grandstand. Mr. Hope Street remains towards the rear just behind Confusion, then In Love, and Bad is still the back marker. Running now for the back straight, 4 fences to jump in the back straight. The third of them is an open ditch. Glenn Gooley and Sean Bowen, the champion jockey, out in front here. From in second, Lookaway and Jack Quinlan. Leave of Absence third on the inside, followed by Josh the Boss. Up the inner, Chance Another One, Uncle Bert, and wide is Confusion. Brave Fortune in the midfield with Cruise Control, then Mr. Hope Street, Deep Cave next to the rail, and then In Love and Bad. At the next, Sean Bowen looking for a big jump from Glenn Gooley, slightly right-handed from Leave of Absence and Lookaway. And now approaching the open ditch, the third of the 4 fences in the back straight. Glenn Gooley into it, came up really well from Lookaway in second. They're all well over. From Leave of Absence in third, then Josh the Boss, and Confusion on the outside in the yellow jacket, slightly apart from the others, jumping the last in the back straight. Uncle Bert remains close up just behind Chance Another One, then Cruise Control in the red and white hoop cap on the inside, nose banded. Mr. Hope Street further back from then Deep Cave, and then still towards the rear of the field are In Love, Brave Fortune, and a couple of lengths to the grey, Bad in last place down the side of the course and approaching the cross fence. Glenn Gooley up and over from Lookaway in second place. And then Leave of Absence, who's gone right round the inside under Sam Twiston Davis. Josh the Boss is back in 4th as they turn now into the home straight, and Glenn Gooley continues out in front. Made all the running to win the December Gold Cup earlier in the season at Cheltenham. Glenn Gooley from Lookaway and Leave of Absence jumping this one. Leader particularly good there, followed by Chance Another One on the inside of Josh the Boss, then Cruise Control and Uncle Bert, and Confusion out wide. Deep Cave, Mr. Hope Street, In Love, Brave Fortune, Bad as they now jump this open ditch. And they all pretty much sail over, and now the long run to the third of the 3 fences in the home straight. This can always be a crucial part sort of steeplechases on the Mildmay course, this long, lung-bursting run to the final fence. And it's Glenn Gooley that leads the way. They've got just over a circuit to go. Glenn Gooley from Lookaway with the white blaze. Leave of Absence on the inside, then Josh the Boss, followed by Chance Another One and Uncle Bert and Cruise Control, who's maybe just inching a little closer, Cruise Control. They are followed by Confusion on the outside, Mr. Hope Street, then Deep Cave, just nudged along a little. Deep Cave from In Love, also just being asked a small question from Brave Fortune, and Bad. Away they go towards the back straight. They've got 4 down the back, 1 down the side, and 3 more in the home straight after that. 8 left to jump. And Glenn Gooley continues to take them along here from Lookaway in second. Leave of absence on the inside. Josh the Boss, blue jacket, in fourth, out wider. Then Chance another one, Uncle Bert, as they clear the first down the back. Confusion was awkward there, and Brave Fortune didn't impress either. On to the next, Glenn Gooley, followed by Lookaway. They've been pretty much first and second all the way, with Leave of Absence on the rail always there as well. Jumping this one, good jump from Glenn Gooley over that one. At the back, Brave Fortune wasn't fluent again. Looks like being pulled up, Brave Fortune. As they now head on to an open ditch, Glenn Gooley coming into it. Sean Bone looking for a stride. Had to shorten up. Lookaway, a bold jump on the outside. Wider still is Confusion. Josh the Boss right there. Lots of chances. Uncle Bert, Chance another one. The last in the back straight. Glenn Gooley up and over from Lookaway. They're followed by Josh the Boss. Now Confusion out wide, getting right into it. Chance another one. Leave of absence round the inside, just struggling a little to hold his position. Then Cruise Control and Uncle Bert. Back behind these, Mr. Hope Street is within 7 lengths perhaps of the lead. Then In Love on the inside, Deep Cave, and Bad, who's been ridden with great patience at the cross fence, 4 out. And Lookaway possibly just touching down in front of Glenn Gooley, but they're still pretty much stride for stride as they now approach the home turn. In third is Josh the Boss being pushed up to challenge. Then behind these, Chance another one, and then on the outside, Confusion. Behind these, Cruise Control still getting into it in the noseband. Leave of absence on the inside of Mr. Hope Street. This is 3 out, Lookaway led. It was Lookaway over in front from in second. Chance another one now. Glenn Gooley fading. Confusion into third. Chance another one, looking a big threat now to Lookaway. Cruise Control in for them. Mr. Hope Street continues to improve in 5th place, but Lookaway leads the way, leads by 2.5 lengths to Chance another one. Here comes Mr. Hope Street. Oh, Harry Skelton just had to fiddle with his iron there, his right iron, but he's still got plenty of horse. Mr. Hope Street challenging on the far side of Lookaway. Then Chance another one, and Confusion racing for the all-important final fence. Mr. Hope Street, Lookaway jumped it boldly, still in there fighting. It's Lookaway on the near side of Mr. Hope Street. Quite a big weight concession here. Lookaway fighting on well. Mr. Hope Street just in front. Mr. Hope Street, another for the Skeltons. Mr. Hope Street and Lookaway. What a battle. Followed home by Confusion. Cruise Control on the inside of Chance another one. And In Love.
What a great race. Mr. Hope Street continuing what has been the most wonderful day for the Skelton team. Wins 4-1. Second was Lookaway, just touched off the 7-2 favourite. And third was Confusion at 20-1. A proper tete-a-tete duel in the closing stages. Lookaway on the near side of Mr. Hope Street on the far side, and Harry Skelton has once again performed wonders really in the saddle, given that he lost an iron at a crucial moment coming to the last. Jumped it not quite as slickly as Lookaway on his outside, but he's fought back tenaciously on the inner and just about noses home at the right time. Hasn't been in any kind of form so far this season really, but has dropped down the weights, was targeted at this race and just gets the job done.
We don't hear from him enough, I don't think. 3 winners today, always speaking to the Skeltons, but you're always out here, the first to welcome the bat, first to pump your fist. Well done, what a day.
That's very kind, yeah, no, it's been brilliant. Obviously, we're not quite finished yet, hopefully, the big one next, but brilliant. This horse has always promised a nice race like this. It's sort of taken a lot of time to sort of get himself all together, and I thought Harry was fantastic on him. We were really confident. He sort of dropped him in, and yeah, he was sort of getting up the straight, getting there, and yeah, it was quite an exciting watch.
Were you confident this would really suit today?
Yeah, definitely. He's had some nice runs over fences this year, particularly his run at Haydock was very good form, and he's always been trained with today in mind, and Dan's fantastic like that. You know, it's obviously well publicised before that, you know, Dan can pick a day with a horse, and he's proved once again that, you know, he's incredible at it.
When the horses are, when they're winning like that, like for Harry, he can, like, you feel like as if he can walk on water, and I just love the way that Harry, nice and calm and relaxed, but coming up after the second last, going to the last, do you see, I love what Harry done. He made a beeline for that rail,
yeah,
and he got the rail, and then he had something to run him against.
He made his mind up, and, you know, fantastic. This horse hasn't really got loads of experience over fences, so it's, you know, yourself riding in a race like that, very competitive around this track. It's not easy, and, you know, he made it look easy today.
Dan was really keen with Lydia early on to talk about how he's, you know, yes, his name's on the door, and he's at the top of a very big tree and a huge team effort. I always get the sense from you guys all out here when Tris won that race earlier on, for example? You all really felt that?
Yeah, no, it's a massive team effort. I know that gets said a lot, but you know, I hope he looked after and ridden every day by Polly, who's the head girl. You know, she puts a life and soul into the work, do you know what I mean? And you know, sacrifices a lot to do this. So it's, you know, fantastic that we can all enjoy the success with Dan and Harry.
And how much has that Trainers' Championship for everyone this season just beeline for it, one focus?
And you know, like I say, I think I've been there 10 years. Polly was there from the start, and Phil as well. So it's, you know, it's been something that we've been aiming for, not just Dan, all of us, for years. So it's hopefully it's nearly there.
Just go win the big one.
That's
Good
very
luck.
kind. Thank you.
The winning horse is a Goff's horse.
各位朋友，大家好。咁喺鏡頭都見到啦，今日都係藍天白。
The Jet 2 Liverpool Hurdle Grade 1 is next, the 305 over the extended 3 miles, and Honesty Policy was sent off 5-2 in a cracking little field.
And they're off. Racing in the Jet 2 Liverpool Hurdle. Hewitt going forward in the green jacket under Paddy Hanlon. From home by the Lee in the red with the white disc, handy far side is last year's winner Hidden Valley Lake with Honesty Policy. Jinko Blue in the red and white diamonds out wide. Wider still is his stable companion Doddy the Great. They're followed by Impose Toi. And then towards the back, Take No Chances, Strong Leader, and La Vida Adiva is the early tail ender. So heading in front of the stands with 2 circuits ahead of them in this 3 mile, half a furlong test, and it's Hewitt that leads the way to Home by the Lee in second. Doddy the Great up on the outside of Jinko Blue. On the inside is then Hidden Valley Lake, followed by Honesty Policy. And then Impose Toi, then Air of Entitlement on the inside of Take No Chances, Strong Leader, and finally at the back, La Vida Adiva in the hands of Harry Cobden. On into the back straight now, a line of hurdles ahead of them. And Hewitt from Home by the Lee, the Stayers hurdle winner at the Cheltenham Festival last month. On the outside is Doddy the Great as they come in to take it. Hewitt up first from Home by the Lee. Doddy the Great. Jinko Blue nearer the inside in the red and white diamonds. White cap then of Honesty Policy. Green cap out wide, Impose Trois. Black sleeves, black cap, last year's winner Hidden Valley Lake. Then Take No Chances. Harry Skelton seeking another winner for his brother Dan in the orange jacket, followed by Strong Leader. And then Air of Entitlement on the inside and La Vida a Diva. On down the back straight towards the last of the 3 flights on this part of the course. Hewitt coming in to take it over from Home by the Lee. And then on the inside, Jinko Blue. Tracking them, Honesty Policy, the favourite to win here. Out wide is Doddy the Great. On the inside is Hidden Valley Lake. And then Impose Trois, a couple of lengths to Take No Chances. Air of Entitlement, third last, second last, Strong Leader. And finally, La Vida a Diva. Heading down the side of the course towards the left-hand turn, which will bring them back into the home straight. Hewitt still out in front, where he's been from the outset for nearly a circuit now. Home by the Lee in second. Jinko Blue on the inside of Doddy the Great. Then Honesty Policy racing between Hidden Valley Lake and Impose Trois on the outside in the green cap. Wider still making progress now is La Vida a Diva from the rear. Take No Chances further back with Air of Entitlement and Strong Leader, and they're very well grouped as they jump the first in the home straight with still over a circuit to go. Hewitt and Home by the Lee now moving on towards the next. Hewitt into it, came up well from Home by the Lee and Doddy the Great in the light blue on the near side. They're followed by Jinko Blue and Impose Trois. And then Honesty Policy. And now they range down towards the next flight. It's flight number 7. They jump 13 in all. This will be the 13th and final one after another lap of the track. And over in front still, Hewitt is the leader from Home by the Lee in second. Jinko Blue on the far side of Honesty Policy, near side Doddy the Great. Impose Trois remains close up. Then Hidden Valley Lake, La Vida a Diva has passed 3 now. They are Take No Chances, Strong Leader, and Air of Entitlement is the back marker as they pass the winning post and now head left-handed away from the packed grandstands. And Home by the Lee now taking over from Hewitt. Home by the Lee is sent on into the lead now by JJ Slevin. Goes a length and a half clear of Doddy the Great. Hewitt on the inside. They're followed then by Honesty Policy racing between Jinko Blue and Impose Trois, who's a little wider out. Behind these Hidden Valley Lake, La Vida a Diva, 2 lengths to Take No Chances. Strong Leader still held up. And at the rear of the field is Air of Entitlement. The first down the back, Home by the Lee over by only a length though to Jinko Blue. Hewitt still there, Doddy the Great. Then Honesty Policy, Impose Trois, all close together. 2 lengths away to Hidden Valley Lake as they now move on to the middle flight in the back straight. Home by the Lee over. In second, Jinko Blue rather landed on all fours but didn't lose any ground. Close up still is Honesty Policy with Impose Trois. Doddy the Great just pushed along on the outside as they move on to the last in the back straight. Home by the Lee. Jinko Blue on the inside. Honesty Policy has come there going well. Followed then in behind them by Impose Trois. Hewitt is now under pressure, so too Doddy the Great. Hidden Valley Lake will have to find plenty to win from there, but it's Home by the Lee that's gone 2.5 lengths clear now from Jinko Blue and Honesty Policy. And then on the outside, Impose Trois, Doddy the Great. Hidden Valley Lake is making up ground quite rapidly, in fact, in the black sleeves, black cap, now going up into 5th place. And La Vida a Diva on the outside, she's also improving. It's beginning to look very competitive as they now run into the home straight with 3 flights left to jump. Home by the Lee has a slender lead. Jinko Blue on the inside. Impose Trois, Honesty Policy. Out wide, La Vida a Diva coming there quite smoothly over that one. And then Hidden Valley Lake. An Air of Entitlement staying on from the rear of the field. Still wide open. Home by the Lee and Jinko Blue. La Vida a Diva is produced. Down there was Impose Trois at the second last under Nico de Boinville. Home by the Lee is finding a little bit extra now as they head down towards the final flight. Home by the Lee, the evergreen 11-year-old, chased by Honesty Policy. Take No Chances is being put into the race by Harry Skelton. The Skelton horses are on fire. Home by the Lee from Take No Chances now into second. Then Honesty Policy, but Home by the Lee, is finding plenty. He's finding more and more and more, and he's drawing right away. Home by the Lee follows up his Festival win. From Take No Chances in second, Honesty Policy back in third, and for fourth, Air of Entitlement.
What a horse Home by the Lee is, as hardy as they come, and he wins 5-1, follows up his Stairs Hurdle victory at the Cheltenham Festival with Grade 1 honours in Liverpool. Second was Take No Chances, back in third was Honesty Policy. But from the front, this was an excellent ride from JJ Slevin, who certainly slowed them down the back and then quickened it up at the right time. Had plenty of stamina in reserve. This horse could have gone round again the way he was pulling up. He was fresh coming into the winner's enclosure, clearly had so much energy left to give. At the ripe old age of 11, Home by the Lee is the supreme stayer of 2026.
Joseph O'Brien must be made up. What an incredible horse Home by the Lee is, and from some way out you must have been thinking, oh my goodness, he's rolling again.
Yeah, I was happy with the spot that he got, Lydia, and JJ and I went through it in detail before, and we said that whoever was going to win today was going to have to stay, and they were going to have to outstay us. And once he got down the back straight, JJ was going to put the pressure on, and that's what he did. He brought the race from 29 up to 33 miles an hour down the back, and he just outstayed them, and thought it was a fantastic ride. Unfortunately, Sean and his family are not here today. They're on holidays. That was booked a long time ago, so they'll get a huge thrill out of this, and I hope they're having a great time with their grandkids and family.
I'm sure they are, and I hope they're watching this. They were lined up to take him on from 3 out, and he just kept finding. The way he extended from the last, I can see you're thrilled.
Yeah, we got a great buzz out of that, Lydia. And listen, he's been around forever, and he's as tough as nails. And delighted for JJ as well, of course.
What an incredible horse Home by the Lee is, and I'm sure that JJ Slevin is going to be celebrating him now. Joseph was just saying, you and he were intent on making sure that was a test of stamina. If you're going to win that race, you're going to have to get past Home by the Lee. You executed those tactics.
Yeah, Joseph said if you're going to get caught, you'd rather get caught for going too soon rather than hanging on to him. So we said we'd try that and see what happened, and thankfully he's burnt them all off.
Yeah, and you really upped the pace. Coming into the straight there, they were lining up behind you. Were you aware of that?
Yeah, I could hear them. I could feel them coming, and I was rowing away, but your man, he grew a bit of heart from that, and actually jumped the last and took off, and away he went, and it was a good performance today.
The way he came away from the last was incredible.
Yeah, he would. He's endless reserves of stamina. He'd go around again, but he's just a great horse, yeah.
The way what happened in the walkway in? I mean, I know he's a massive character.
Yeah, that's him. He didn't like walking out under it either. We had a bit of a job getting him out, and he took off coming in and got loose, but yeah, that's him, yeah.
Do you think he's better than ever?
Definitely feels like it. His form suggests that. It's unbelievable at the age of 11, but look, it's a fair play to Joseph and everyone on the hill have kept him in great form throughout his career, you know.
Because the twice he's been here before, he had to pull up.
Yeah, he never rose a gallop, and the early part of the race is a little bit worried he wouldn't take to me as he did in Cheltenham, but that can be him too, but he warmed into it and away he went.
And you've asked for the number cloth, you were just saying. You've got the number cloth from Cheltenham as well.
Yeah, look at these races are really hard to win, so we have to remember them anyway.
Absolutely. Well, we've already spoken about Banbridge, so all that remains is for me to wish you luck with And congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
The big race of the year, the big steeplechase of the season is the Randox Grand National Handicap Chase over the extended 4 miles and 2 furlongs. And in the end, the market plunge came to I Am Maximus. The top weight went off, the 9-2 favourite.
Flag is raised, and they're off for the Randox Grand National of 2026. And starting off well, Answer to Cave is bustled along. Quader Bourbon, high class hero in the red jacket in the centre. Am I Right? Out wide, Final Orders with the whacker as well as they jump the first.
Am I Right is the early leader, and Grange Clare West has gone at the first. Grange Clare West out of it at fence number 1. Final Orders is handy, so too is Twig, and High Class Hero with Cader Bourbon, the blue cap towards the right. The extreme right is I Am Maximus over the second, and Cader Bourbon has gone. Panic Attack was slightly hampered, and Firefox also done no favours towards the rear as they move on to the open ditch, fence 3. Am I Right, High Class Hero and Twig with Final Orders as we lost. Panic Attack has gone at fence number 3, moving on towards the 4th. Iroko just in behind the leaders with Johnny Who and Imperial Saint over the 4th. Top of the bill, a slight mistake at that. Marble Sands is towards the rear of the field at this stage, along with Bambridge and Firefox near the back, along with Gorgeous Tom as they come to the 5th.
And jumping the 5th, Twig is right up there with Am I Right and a High Class Hero. Final Orders just in behind him, together with Iroko, Lecky Watson and Beauport Wide. At top of the bill is following these, and then came on the inside Imperial Saint in the gold. Is then followed by on the inside I Am Maximus and Haiti Couleurs as they take Beecher's Brook. Am I Right landed with the lead. Faller at the back of the field, Mr. Van Gogh. Mr. Van Gogh has gone at Beecher's Brook as they now go towards the Foyne-Avon and coming towards fence number 7. Am I Right and a High Class Hero, the leading pair. Faller at the back there, Jerry Colomb has gone at Foyne-Avon. On the way towards the canal, Am I Right from High Class Hero, Twig. And right behind those Final Orders, Imperial Saint and Monty Star on the inside. And then came Lecky Watson and Iroko. Next is Jaguar, then I Am Maximus. And then on the outside came Champ, Kylie and Beauport. And then 3-card Bragg all over the canal turn, okay. And here's Valentine's.
Am I Right is leading the way. Top of the bill, still handy is a High Class Hero, all streaming over Valentine's with Imperial Saint and Callum Pritchard having his first ride in the race. Close to the rail is Monty's Star as they come over their next. Twiggers to the outside with Lecky Watson not too far away. Iroko in the sheepskin noseband next to Jaguar in the cheek pieces. The blue cap just in behind those is Johnny Who as they come to this open ditch. Top of the bill, jumped it well. I Am Maximus is in midfield at this stage with Champ Kylie. Riders in difficulty losing an iron there. Bambridge, JJ Slevin trying hard to get it back as they move on to fence number 12. Am I Right and top of the bill to High Class Hero. Twig to the outside of Final Orders. Imperial Saint on the inner, then Jaguar and Iroko. Lecky Watson is next with Spanish Harlem. Monty Star to the inside, followed by Favori de Champdou and Stella Storia Whitecap with 3-card Bragg. Yellow and blue Answer to Cave in the orange Captain Cody next to the outside, ahead of Oscar's brother. Haiti Couleur is well back at this point in company with Gorgeous Tom and Firefox towards the rear with Bambridge. Percival Galois, the real whacker, is a little bit detached, and slightly at the back of the main group is Jordan's as they turn for home and run to fence 13.
Bo Morgan on Twig, possibly just the leader from Am I Right and top of the bill on the far side. High Class Hero in the red jacket is right there too, and they're followed by Iroko and Jaguar, the stable companions racing round together. They're followed next by Monty's Star. I Am Maximus, very handy, right round the inside. Whitecap, Paul Townend as they move on towards the next plain fence. Am I Right lifts off just in front from top of of the bill. Twig over in third. High Class Hero travels well from Imperial Saint. They're followed by Monty's Star, a loose horse threatening to get in the way here as they race on towards the chair. Monty's Star in the centre. Jaguar, Iroko, final orders out wide Beauport with Lecky Watson as they take the chair. Top of the bill over. A bad juddering mistake from High Class Hero. Banbridge has gone at the back of the field, and also gone at that one was Oscar's brother. Oscar's brother also went at the chair. Amorite in front over the water. From top of the bill, second, Imperial Saint and Twig. High Class Hero. Then behind these is Jaguar and Monty's Star, and then Iroko. Followed by Favre de Chandu. I Am Maximus cutting every corner. Final orders in the midfield from Champ Kylie. Then Johnny Who in the midfield as well. Behind those is Stella Story in a white cap. Gorgeous Tom, Beauport, Haiti Couleur, a little worse than midfield. Firefox Jordans, and then Answer to K from 3-Card Bragg is further back with Captain Cody, Lecky Watson towards the rear, Marble Sand, Spanish Car Harlem, and out the back, Percival Le Gallois as they jump the next.
Over fence 17, Am I Right? High Class Hero, Twig in between them, top of the bill, not far away ahead of Monty's Star in the maroon. Beauport making progress, the light blue the outside. Wider is Lecky Watson from Captain Cody. 3-Card Bragg is next as they come towards fence number 18. And we lost Marble Sands at that. Marble Sands gone. Coming to the open ditch, fence 19. Am I Right? Top of the bill. Imperial Saint the inside. Then High Class Hero. And Beauport has gone there. Twig made a bad mistake. And we've also lost we've lost Jaguar and also Stella Story at that. So 3 gone at the ditch second time. Am I Right? In a little bit close to that with top of the bill up there. Imperial Saint, Monty's Star, High Class Hero. Final orders is following with Iroko, and to the outside 3-Card Bragg with Captain Cody wider still.
And that was the one before Beaches, and as they raced over it, top of the bill and a High Class Hero are still the leading pair. Imperial Saint and Am I Right are close up behind in company there with Iroko, and final orders. 3-Card Bragg is still travelling okay, and then Johnny Who as they take Beaches Brook now. Top of the bill landed just in front. There's quite a bad blunder there from Champ Kylie, but he's still in the race as they race towards the Foynaven fence once again. And as they do so, top of the bill leading from Imperial Saint in second, then a High Class Hero, he's back in third from Monty Star and Am I Right? And then final orders just in advance of Iroko. I Am Maximus is still going okay, and so too Johnny Who as they go towards the canal turn for the second time, preceded by 2 loose horses. Top of the bill, High Class Hero, Imperial Saint, Monty Star, Am I Right? These are then followed by Favre de Chandu, Iroko, and next then is final orders. All okay that time, Spanish Holland, the last one going over Valentine's.
Fence 25, top of the bill made a mistake there as Imperial Saint led Monty's Star. Top of the bill still in third position, High Class Hero out wide. They're still being followed then by Iroko as they come over the next. Imperial Saint in a little bit close to that. Favre de Chandu not too far away with final orders, and Jordan's rushing up on the outside as they come to the last ditch 4 out. Lecky Watson is pulling up at the back. A Twig is now towards the rear of the field, getting over that, and Percival Le Gallois blundered and unseated. Captain Cody gone as well, so Jordan's has come through to just about lead the way here with top of the bill and 3-Card Bragg. Monty's Star, Imperial Saint has dropped to 5th with Johnny Who improving the blue cap. Final orders to the outside, and then Iroko, Champ Kylie, Favre de Chandu, I Am Maximus is next in the field, followed by Haiti Couleur, and then Gorgeous Tom, Answer to K. Am I Right has dropped back. Firefox is towards the rear, and Twig is well behind, but it's Jordan's and Ben Jones opening up a clear lead here on the turn for home in the Randox Grand National.
Jordan's his kick for glory. He's gone 6 or 7 lengths clear. High Class Hero and Monty Star in hot pursuit. Johnny Who has been travelling well, but now being rustled up, followed by Iroko. And then behind these Champ Kylie as they jump the second last. Jordan's over in good style. High Class Hero is giving chase in second. Then Johnny Who into third in the blue cap, followed by Iroko. And behind these then is Monty Star running on his I Am Maximus down the outside as they jump the second last. Jordan's in front. Maybe they're getting a bit closer. High Class Hero, Johnny Who, I Am Maximus in the white cap. Then behind these running on is Iroko, Champ Kylie, Monty Star, Favorita Chantu. Jordan's, his stride is shortening as they race past the elbow. Jordan's now joined by I Am Maximus, the winner 2 years ago, second last year, and I Am Maximus strikes the front now in the hands of Paul Townend, bidding for history here. Could he be the first horse since the legendary Red Rum to regain the National? He can! He wins the Randox Grand National again. I Am Maximus running on well up the inside, Iroko from Johnny Who, and then behind those was Favre de Chantu. Jordan's got very tight. High Class Hero. Final orders, 3-car Bragg, Champ Kylie, Answer to Cafe, and then Gorgeous Tom, Imperial Saint, Monty Star. One of the last to finish was Twig as they passed the line. Firefox has completed the course, and Am I Right, just about the last one home.
What a sensational performance from I Am Maximus, who wins the Grand National, becomes the first horse to regain it since Red Rum. That is quite some statistic, and he returned the well-backed 9-2 favourites, Iroko, Jordan's and Johnny Who, filling out the places in a race that rather resembled Grand Nationals of old, given the number of fallers and loose horses running around. And Jordan certainly split the race wide open under Ben Jones, who was cavalier from a long way out, took the bull by the horns and nearly held on, but it gave I Am Maximus down the outside a nice target to aim at, and in the end he went whistling by. Iroko has come from quite some way back to pick up second spot, but it's I Am Maximus, so classy on his day, who's now won an Irish Grand National and 2 Grand Nationals. A strong staying test at a high level is exactly what he loves, and to win this off top weight is no mean feat. JP McManus becomes the first owner to have the 1-2.
Well, I think we can be certain that I Am Maximus is now one of the national greats. He has just become just the 5th horse to regain the national after finishing second last year, the first since Red Rum to do so. His trainer is, of course, the incomparable Willie Mullins. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You must be utterly delighted.
I was as disappointed as I was from Greensphere West, and Patty went to the first. Richard Thompson told me Arsenal got beaten today by Bournemouth, so I said to Patty, now no more slip-ups today, and he goes at the first. So I was on a downer from there on, but most of my horses ran well. And then I'm more or less looking at the screen. I was saying, I Am Maximus is not able to get through, and I thought, because he's not able to get through, maybe Paul hasn't enough petrol in the tank. He kept getting pushed sideways, but I think in retrospect it was just Paul just keeping it calm. Unless he was going to get through easy, he didn't want to use up petrol, and he just kept moving sideways until the gaps came, just kept settled, and eventually the horse's class just told. And Paul's class just told as well, that he just had the bottle to wait and sit and wait for the right time to move.
Yes. And last year, I mean, I've heard sort of mixed reports. Was Paul kicking himself about last year in some way?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean,
I don't think he should be.
I thought the horse ran a cracker last year, just got beaten.
Yeah. And so the cheek pieces this time round, was that to kind of help the horse hold his position?
His last bit of work the other day, I looked at David Casey and David looked at me, and both of us said nothing, and next thing Paul came back to us and he said, I think we might put a set of cheek pieces on him. And the two of us looked at one another again, because 3 of us thought the same thing, watching the horse, that he wasn't doing a tap. But that's what you need in the National, in those long distance stages. You need lazy horses. And Paul was regretting putting them on going down to the start, because he took a bite.
I was going to say, I mean, he got revved up, didn't he? I was quite surprised.
He did, but then as he got a few fences under his belt, he just settled back down, and Paul was able to use the accelerator when he needed to.
And it was a more eventful Grand National than we've been used to.
Wasn't it? Yeah, I mean, hopefully, I didn't see anyone. I thought I saw all the horses getting up, and I thought I saw all the riders getting up. So it was proper Grand National. It's disappointing as it was that our one was the first one to go, yeah.
And talk me through the closing stages, because as you say, it was a proper Grand National with loose horses in the way and all of that kind of thing. What were you thinking?
Once I'd taken my eye off Paul to watch a few other horses, and then I just saw him, and I said, oh, I said he wins unless something stupid happens, and and sure enough, Paul came through and won. But you never know. I mean, we don't want to mention yesterday, but you never know what's going to happen on that run-in. You know, the horses come out of the clouds, a loose horse could come backwards. You know, Devon Locke slipped up in the shadow. All these things can happen. Yeah, and that's the National. That's what makes it the National.
And what a classy horse he is as well.
Well, I mean, as I said, I'd probably have run him in the Gold Cup. But JP said, no, we're going for the National. So, but he had been strong about the National 2 years ago, last year, and again this year, you know. I thought, you've won a National, let's win a Gold Cup. Do it the other way around from, what was the horse, the big chestnut horse? No, the big chestnut horse Tommy Carberry rode. He won a Escargot. He won a Gold Cup and then a National.
Yes, that's right, yes.
So we'll have to get around to doing it the other way around.
Now, this is a bit of a gauntlet I'm about to throw down to you. So, a gauntlet that I'm about to throw down to you. I'm about to tell you that you've just become a record equaler in the Grand National. So you're now the 4th trainer to have trained 4 winners of the race.
Vincent O'Brien. Who are the other two?
Two very, very long way past. The most recent one is Ginger McCain.
Oh, Ginger, yeah.
Yeah. Got Amberley House and the three red
Who was, it was always a great fun with Ginger when he come buying horses to Ireland.
Yeah.
One day buying a horse and 3 days doing other stuff. But anyway.
but the gauntlet is presumably see you next year with trying to be here to win the outright winning most trainer.
Well, hopefully I'll be here, and hopefully I suppose I am Maximus. Well, you know, I think JP, he's very keen on I am Maximus for the National, and he says he loves the place. He jumps the fence as well. He's got a great team with Paul. You know, the two of them going. So hopefully we're all here next year.
A red rum.
Who knows?
Fingers crossed. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Paul Townend has just won his 2nd Grand National on the same horse, a national great. I Am Maximus, 2nd last year, winner 2 years ago, wins again, first horse to regain the crown since Red Rum. That's a piece of total national history. It must be amazing to be part of it.
It's huge, it's huge. You know, for what a training performance from Willie to get him back here to run so well last year and again this year. He was showing all the right signs at home, and we got an awful lot of luck on the way around as well. There was plenty fallers, but they were kind of it was all happening out there away from me. I was in a little bubble on my own, and yeah, he was tough, wasn't he?
He really was. Willie was talking the other day, he and David, Casey and you were riding the horse, and that was the point where you decided that cheek pieces were needed?
I sat in him his last couple of little bits of work, and he was working well, but I just thought, you know, what bigger place to try them. And just the middle of the race last year, I thought they might have just helped me, and I think again today it was the middle or 3/4 of the way. Instead of having to ride him through it and get him to encourage him along, anytime I just gave him a little dip to see what was there, it was there for me, and I think that they definitely helped that.
Although they listed me up a little bit on the way to the start, didn't they?
They did. Yeah. Did you notice that? Yeah, I just said it to Willie there, which was no harm. Get the blood up, get him competitive down over the first, and once we got down there, he was fine. But I sat in him this morning, and I liked what I was feeling here. He knew where he was, I think.
And you mentioned you needed a bit of luck. That was because it was lots of things were happening in the national. It was like an old-fashioned national a bit, wasn't it?
Yeah. I got a lot of luck, and I got in deep to a couple of fences. I think it was Beecher's. We ended up right down the inside, and we had a little peck, but he found his feet, and you know, you need luck. It's a lot of talk about what the national has become. Go and try and win it and see how easy it is.
And talk me through the straight from the last fence past the elbow to the line.
Yeah, I was, to be honest, I had enough horses in front of me, kind of 3rd last, 4th last, going okay to bring me in. And as I said, anytime I just had a little feel off him, I thought there was horse there, but I just didn't want to use it until I had to. They brought me as far as they could, and I'd horses to aim at then for the elbow, and you know, he started gathering momentum then, and thankfully the loose horse didn't cause me too much trouble.
Now, I know that you're incredibly professional. This has been a challenging 24 hours for you, obviously, because we saw what happened to Gold Dancer yesterday, who won the Grade 1 Mildmay Chase, but he obviously sustained a fatal injury. He was euthanised due to, we presume, the mistake he made at the last fence. You've had some time to deal with it. What are your reflections?
Yeah, look, no one was as upset as me, because I was the closest to it in what happens. We love these horses, but like, obviously had I known then what I know now, we'd have stopped. When we landed, gathered himself and he galloped up to the line and felt fine until we eased back to trot and tried to turn the bend.
Yeah, you said in the Stewards' inquiry evidence that it was only as he rounded the bend that his gait changed. Now, many people watching on telly perceive that they saw his gait change from the last to the line. From your perspective, from a jockey's perspective, how do you tell the difference between a horse that has gone wrong behind, potentially, and one that has just reacted to a bad mistake and is potentially tired?
We can only tell from feel. He's the end of 3 miles. He would put up a bold jumping performance, and you know, we'd been on the pace all the way. He was tired, but when he regained himself and galloped out to the line, I can only go off feel. He ran as straight as a die, and one stride he was back up, popped back up, and galloping again. He felt fine to me.
Okay. Paul, thank you for answering those difficult questions. I want to end on a positive note. We won 2 Grand Nationals, second in one with this horse. Willie's talking about coming back next year. I reckon you want to be part of that, don't you?
It'd be lovely, wouldn't it? It's a long way away yet, and we'll definitely enjoy this one, though.
Yeah, equal red run, perhaps.
We'll see.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
The final race of the 3 days is the 5 o'clock, a bumper and a Grade 2 over the extended 2 miles, for which Base Hunter was sent off, the 15-8 favourite.
Coming forward. And they're off. Racing then for this Weatherby's National Hunt Stallions.co.uk Standard Open National Hunt Flat Race. And towards the inside is Base Hunter with Night Flyer with the big white blaze, One Night in green with the white cap, Merlin Allen handy. So too Ronnie Russet, and round the outside is Rice's Pool in the black and orange jacket. And they're followed then by the Perfect Poet. Very deep is Smile John Boy. The last man from Penra just behind these with Merry Away. And then Chicker back on the inside from Governor's Rock. And Moments Away in blue and yellow. Fourth Factor just behind these. Look Me in the shades of green, the double green, just close to Cool to Be Careless in the high clear colours, light blue with the darker blue armlets. Towards the rear are making plans for Loire Remy and Barraquil, and Risky Obsession has been completely dropped out by Harry Skelton. So about to race in front of the grandstands here, and Base Hunter on the far side of Rice's Pool in second, One Night in third, Merlin Allen. Out deep is Smile John Boy from the Perfect Poet, Night Flyer, and then Moments Away and Merry Away together, and then the last man from Penra. Out wide then is Ronnie Russet, followed by Chicker, and behind these is Fourth Factor as they run into the left-hander. Cool to Be Careless. Ronnie Russet has to be shaken up round that bend from Look Me and Paul Townend, who is fourth last at the moment, got slightly impeded there. Then Making Plans for Risky Obsession and Barraquil is the back marker. Turning into the back straight, and Base Hunter continues to make it from Rice's Pool in second place. Then One Night on the inside of Merlin Allen, Smile John Boy and the Perfect Poet. Behind these then is Moments Away as they race down the back straight, and then looking behind the first 7 or 8, Merry Away and Night Flyer on the inside. Fourth Factor and Chicker, and then Cool to Be Careless, Lawara Me. Look Here, Look Me is still towards the back of the field with Risky Obsession. And Governor's Rock on the inside, and then the last man from Penra, and Making Plans for and Barraquil are just about the two last ones as they continue now towards the turn left-handed out of the back straight. So Base Hunter leads from Rice's Pool. Then out wide is Smile John Boy. Close up on the inside is One Night, and they're followed by Merlin Allen in the pink sleeves, the Perfect Poet. Behind these is Moments Away and Fourth Factor. And then in the red colours is Merry Away and Cool to Be Careless as they race through their starting point and head down the side of the course. Driven along is Night Flyer. Lawara Me behind these, getting a reminder, was Ronnie Russet. Look Me is just in about 9th or 10th position on the outside. Cool to Be Careless as now they turn into the straight. And up ahead it's still Base Hunter that leads the way from Rice's Pool in second. Merlin and Len has travelled well. Pink Sleeves just in behind them. Then Fourth Factor goes all right as well. One Night on the outside. Merry Away, Cool to Be Careless. Look Me is in behind runners, searching for racing room in the double green jacket, going well, as now getting a split. Fourth Factor going on from Merlin and Len. Look Me and Paul Town into the third. Merry Away on the outside, but racing greenly. And from the back of the field, staying on his Moments Away as well. Fourth Factor leads the way under Heidi Palin, challenging Merlin and Len. Look Me on the far side, then Merry Away and Moments Away behind these, but still out in front is Fourth Factor doing it well as they race up towards the line. Trainer Dan Skelton, great day for trainer Dan Skelton. Look Me in second, Merlin and Len in third, Look Me in second, and then Merry Away back in fourth, and then Merry Away.
The guns have blazed and the rockets have. The guns have blazed and the rockets have fired. Look Me and Merlin Allen team this week filled out Fourth Factor gives them yet another winner. This time ridden by Miss Heidi, who finished behind Base Hunter when last seen the Grade 2 bumper. In December, Look Me and Merlin Allen, who was filled out form around on certain terms in the end, but it was and has been given a nice break. Who finished behind Base Hunter when last goes well fresh. In December, delivered to perfection here by Heidi turned that form around on certain terms. One is bumper at Hexham break back in November. Clearly goes well fresh, step up in class. Delivered to perfection here by Heidi keeps on rolling by trainer Dan Skelton. One is bumper at Hexham back in November, and this is quite a step up in class. The Skelton team keeps on rolling.
Many congratulations. You're going to ride your first winner at Aintree. May as well make it at the Grand National meeting. That's what Heidi Palin has just done on Fourth Factor. Many congratulations. How's it feeling through the race from your perspective? How did it pan out?
So the plan was always to try and get him to drop the bridle. Very happy and very fortunate. And then just hopefully travel through the race and turn in and
how did it pan out?
Hopefully just pick him off. So the plan was always to try and get him to drop the bridle, to be honest, and drop the bridle and then just hopefully travel through the race and turn in and hopefully just pick him off.
I don't know if he's been too keen and want to let him down.
Very keen for a help. He might not pick up, he's done too much, but he's just seemed to pick up
and
picked up away from him.
And were you aware that you had the Grand National winning jockey bearing down on you?
That he might not pick up, he's done too much, but he just seemed to pick up and picked up away from him.
Were you aware that you had the Grand National winning jockey bearing down on you?
He's proved it today.
You weren't
slightly worried for a minute.
Pardon? Do you work him at home?
Yeah, I have worked him a bit, and I've always ride him every day out, and well, he's proved it today.
And you work him at home, is that right? Pardon? Do you work him at home? And I know you're an integral part of it, but Dan was just saying this was the horse of all the ones he ran in the race that he actually laid out and aimed at the race team skills. And I know you're an integral part of it, but Dan was just saying this was the horse of all the ones he ran in the race that he actually laid out and aimed at the race. And that must give you a lot of confidence. Earlier this week, a rider and Hunter Chase over the national fences on an expected party. That fourth must have been quite a thrill too.
Yeah, really good, really happy with his run.
Earlier this week, a rider and Hunter Chase over the national fences on an expected party. That what a fantastic season it's been. What a fantastic meeting it's been for you, and it's richly deserved. Well done, Heidi.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a go in the race.
Well, many congratulations. What a fantastic season it's been. What a fantastic meeting it's been for you, and it's richly deserved. Well done, Heidi.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, what a day. Grand National victory went to I Am Maximus, the 9-2 favourites, and a third consecutive victory for Willie Mullins in the race. Well, what a day. And of course, Grand National victory went to I Am Maximus, the 9-2 other victories on the day included consecutive by the Lee for Willie Mullins in the race after Nick Rockets, and of course, the same handicaps, Mr. Hope Street and Wade Out. Other victories on the day included impressive Mr. Hope Street winning narrowly, who has become the supreme had dropped down the weights and came in handicaps with look Mr. Hope Street and a real Wade Out. A nice duel between the two of them. Quite impressive. Bossman Jack won the 155. Had dropped down the weights and came there with look away and put the other two Mirabad duel between the two of them. Bossman Jack won the 155 and fourth factor really impressive for the Skelton Yard. Look out for next year. And of the other two, Mirabad the leading jockey's table. Harry first race well clear and fourth factor bookended the card for the Skelton Yard. Dominated. And in very impressive fashion, Paul Tannen and JJ Harry second, well clear, 4 wins, 4 seconds and 2/3. He's absolutely dominated. Look at that for a tally for trainer Dan. And in very impressive fashion, Paul Tannen and JJ Slevin second and 6 wins, 5 seconds and 2/3. Look at that for a tally for trainer Dan Skelton, who absolutely romps home and has Willie Mullins final well in arrears. 6 wins, 5 seconds, a great week too for Joseph O'Brien. 2/3. It's 2 victories a second, he's going to remember a third for a long time. And he finished and has Willie Mullins no doubt about the well in arrears. A great week too for Joseph O'Brien.
It's a race, it's a day that gets you like no other.
A third.
You should feel it in your bones, the excitement of
no doubt about the winner.
For Grand National Day, and today we witnessed a performance. It's a race, it's a day that gets you like no other. Genuinely be called one of the race's greats. He won it 2 years ago, second last year. He's won it today off top weight, a rating of 168. Who I think it was a third in genuinely be called one of the race's greats. Second, he won it 2 years ago, second last year. He's won it today off top weight, a rating of 168. It was a third in succession for Willie Mullins, a fourth all told. Second for Paul Townend, another one for JP McManus, the fourth, and he had the second and the fourth for good measure. So those are the numbers, but I mean, this horse's performance, I Am Maximus, was just extraordinary.
This place is a theatre of dreams, and to come in under that grandstand after winning a Grand National once, but to do it Paul Townend on the same horse is a phenomenal feat. This place is a theatre of dreams, and to come in under that grandstand after winning a Grand National once, but to do it Paul Townend on the same horse is a phenomenal feat.
Plenty of incidents and accidents in the first circuit, particularly a bit like an old school national. You know, one down at the first, one down at the second, one down at the third, couple down at the sixth. Plenty of incidents and accidents. You find those winners, particularly a bit like an old school national. You know, seem to have a little force field around them. One down at the third, couple down at the sixth. Have their own little orbit where they're always out. You find those winners, those horses that can do it, seem to have a little force field around them. They kind of have their own little orbit where they're always out. I think helped, didn't it? In terms of the way that the race unfolded. It was definitely more of a thriller this year than it had been maybe the last couple of years. There wasn't much traffic in front of him, which I think helped, didn't it, in terms of the way that the race immediately okay. It was definitely more of a thriller this year than it had been maybe the last couple of years. Higher than ever has been defined. I think it's immediately okay. Amazing figures-wise, it was a handicap mark of 168, higher than ever has been defined before, I think, in the race. You know, figures-wise, it was a remarkable performance. Someone didn't quite say it's been quite an inclement day. We've just to tidy up some of the horses and jockeys who received some attention after the race. Someone didn't quite at the second. He walked into the horse ambulance being assessed in the stables. Just to tidy up some of the top of the bill ran very well for a long way, was pulled up. He's actually walked to his own volition fell at the second. He received a bit of veterinary attention. Mr. Van Gogh fell at Beaches. Top of the bill ran very well for a long way, was pulled up. He walked into the horse ambulance and again is here he received a bit of veterinary attention. Mr. Hospital, he was conscious right on the outside, talking as he left the track. He had a nasty fall as well. He walked into the horse story, and again is here. It showed you that when you're taken to hospital, he was however experienced and talking as he left the track. He had a nasty fall. It is never an easy race. It showed you that when you have 34 horses, however experienced they are,
it's not an easy race to get round in. So it's a feat for any horse to get round in the national.
No,
it's not an easy race.
It just makes it
an easy race
to win.
It's not an easy race to get round in. So it's a feat for any horse to get round in the national.
3 times he's come here.
It just makes it all the more. It's just phenomenal.
I mean, we've seen all the drama happen
and all the drama unfold.
3 times he's come here. He's won twice, runner-up last year.
It's just unbelievable. I mean, we've seen all the drama happen and all the drama unfold.
Yeah, not many of the other Willie Mullins horses really figured. Great Claire West unseating Patrick Mullins at the first fence. High Class Hero ran very well. He came not many of the other Willie Mullins horses really figured. Great Claire West unseating Patrick Mullins at the first delivered him that Trainers Championship, which will this year. He came home in 5th. Champ Kylie ran fabulous 4-time, but not quite today. The 1, 2, 3, 5, 7 of last year, which delivered him that Trainers Championship, which will this year winning the bumper and the 2 big grade ones in between 4-time.
Yeah, Bossman Jack was really good.
So much for him. And the 40 for the race as well. For the fact of winning the bumper and the 2 big grade ones in between to boot.
Yeah, Bossman Jack was really good.
Really good. And he got the runner-up in the race as well.
The Skelton machine is keeping on working all the time, and they've got some exciting young horses to look forward to for next season as well.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everything he touched.
The Skelton machine is keeping on working all the time, and they've got some exciting young horses to look forward to for next season as well.
What a couple of days for Joseph Pretty much everything he touched turned to gold today. He couldn't quite win the Liverpool hurdle. That went Solness nearly win. He had the Zeus Power win the Norris hurdle. George was running a ridiculously good race in the Grand National in third. He's home by the lead winning the Liverpool hurdle. Solness nearly win. He had the Zeus Power win the Norris hurdle. George was running a ridiculously good race in the Grand National in third. And home by the lead winning the Liverpool hurdle.
Brilliant ride by JJ7 because he wound up the pace from a long way out, and he was always going by the lead because he was always in control at the front end. Brilliant ride by JJ7 for him. He's 11 pace from a long way out, and he's like a fine wine. He's getting better with age and stamina. That horse
I tell you what, give Joseph O'Brien a dog to train. He'd probably win cross with it. But then similar comments could apply today to Dan Skelton and, of course, most of the time to Willie Mullins. Let's just tell you what, give Joseph O'Brien a dog to train. He'd probably win cross with it. But then similar comments could apply today to Dan Skelton and, of course, most of the time to Willie Mullins. Let's just take stock of what he's achieved again with Grand National all in the same year. Champion hurdle. They can't just keep raising the bar high. By the way, that was a 5th for Town in the Gold Cup and in the Grand National all in the same year. You think to witness just keep raising the bar higher still, but it seems they can. It is so much fun being here these 3 days. It's the very best to witness the crowning, and it's played out with the very best spirit. Lisa it is so much fun being here these 3 days. It's the very best of sport, and it's played out with the very best spirit. Lisa and I, so Lisa will be back at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. What have you done to deserve that? National winning will be with us as well, as will Neil King, who's had such a fabulous week here at Aintree, and we'll be checking in with all the heroes winning these hours with us as well. Lisa, thank you so much. Thank you for such a fabulous week here, who has been, of course, Aintree, and we'll be checking in with all the heroes Stanley, these hours. Jacob, Martin, Lisa, thank you so much. Thank you to Lydia, who has been, of course, as from all of us, brilliant this week. Likewise, Tom Stanley and Daryl Jacob, and all our production team here at Aintree who've made it all possible for you. From all of us on Merseyside, it's bye for now.
The rest of Chester couldn't have got any better. Started with the Colds course, Benvenuto Cellini, very impressive, and Constitution River and Boulder trials. What were we expecting? The rest of Chester couldn't have got any better. Started with the Colds course, Benvenuto Cellini, very impressive, and Constitution River and Boulder trials. What were we expecting going there?
Very happy. We always felt he was a kind of a 1.5 mile horse that could get away with a 1.25 mile. We never felt he was a Benvenuto. So very happy. We always felt he was very high. He was a kind of a 1.5 mile horse that could get, and that's what he showed at Chester. So really couldn't be happier with what he did, and obviously then Constitution. We thought he was very good last year. He got a little injury, so we had to stop, and we knew we weren't going to have a lot of time with him if he was going to be a Derby horse, which we thought possibly he could be something very special and something very different. Obviously Chester was the most he was ever opened up, and he seems to have come out of the race well. He travelled strong, got the 1.25 mile really well, and could get further. We tried to have pace on in those races for those horses, that we would learn a little bit and the horses would learn a little bit. So Yeah, so couldn't have been happier. Obviously, the lads have to make a decision now. Does he go to a French derby or a Epsom derby? I don't know what's going to happen, and we've time, but he's probably favouring a little bit more French than Epsom at the moment, because we have Benefinuti, or the Vaz winner there, and we have the horse ran in Leopardstown yesterday, is a strong possible as well.
Mentioned him, Pierre Bonner, and of course he's going to throw Hawk Mountain into the mix as well. Each of them haven't run this season.
Yeah, Hawk Mountain went Hawk Mountain went to Chantilly for his trial with the view that he could be a French Derby horse as well, and he could go there as well. He did a 9 furlong group race and he won nicely, very raw green, and that still. But Christophe wrote him, he was very happy, and. Then Pierre, we're very happy with him yesterday. He made a big jump forward from the last day, but he needs to jump again, but we think he will. Because he was so far back the last day, we couldn't try and make that too big a jump too quick, so we had to leave enough that he would jump, but there was room for more. And we think there is. We think if he comes over well, we'll know tomorrow, next day. We look sound in that today, but if he does, like we always thought that he was an Epsom horse, and we always thought then the Chester Vaz horse was going to be his danger in Epsom, and that's the way it looks. It looks like the Vaz horse is going to be shorter priced than him at the moment. So yeah, it will be interesting.
He's a big cruising horse, and when you leave him down, he lengthens more than quicken. It's possible that maybe the first half of the race was a bit steadier than ideal for my horse, and just when I was trying to go there, he was slow to get there. Next thing, the last 3 strides he went forward, and then one flashed and got me late. Possibly if he came to me earlier, it might have helped me. But look, it was a step forward from his last run, and I do feel he'd make a big step forward again from yesterday.
Pierre, he looked like he tightened up a lot yesterday for the run from the Ballysacks, but there's probably more improvement to come or more to work on.
Yeah, obviously we always like running them into the autumn as their 2-year-old career, and they ran in France in the autumn and heavy ground, 1.25 miles. So when that happens, you have to give them a lot of time over the winter to build back up, and you can't tighten them up too much too early in the spring, because they would have had a longer season than some of the others. So we had to go gradual with him. Really, we wanted to get 2 runs into him before Epsom, because he was a big horse and he was still a baby. So that was the plan. I think everything is going according to plan so far. We think he hopefully will come out of the race well, and we think he will move up. So it will be interesting. Ideally, we'd have preferred a stronger pace in Leopardstown. It was a bit of a mess, but because of it, they probably had an easy enough race. They only really sprinted down the straight, and probably wouldn't have been ideal for him, where he's a big horse that'll get 1.5 miles and could even get a ledger trip. So, and I suppose the difference in him and the Vaz horse is he's 1.5 miles horse that you wouldn't be probably going any further. You go back to 1.25 miles. So that's the difference in the 2 horses. But it will be interesting. Epsom's a tough place, nowhere to hide, and tough. If there's pace on in Epsom, like anything can happen, and it's not for kids really. So it will be interesting.
Hawk Mountain, is he a possible then for Epsom if Constitution River went to France?
Yeah, possible. I think at the moment, the way the lads are thinking, he could go to France as well. Okay. Yeah, I think he had his trial there. He's by Wooden Bassett, which is an influence for speed. So it's very possible that they could let them run against each other, and like if the lads are going to leave the other 2 run against each other in Epsom, they could let them run together in France, you know. So I think it's and obviously they have to split the horses up. They can't run them all together, you know. So
how much has he got in the tank? When you see the way he raced in France, the way he hung off the bend, he's looking around, but the last 100 yards he's a comfortable winner.
Oh yeah, he was only in 2nd gear really, and he was a bit like that last year. He's laid back, and we had cheek pieces on him just to help him out a little bit. But there's every chance that we could try a visor on him to help him a little bit more. He's not ungenuine, he's just lazy, and he's always waiting. And like in them big races, you don't get much time for waiting. And especially if he goes to a French Derby around that bend on fast ground, they'll be quickening, and there won't be much time for slow reactions. So it's possible. We'll see how he is, but he's a lovely horse.
Back to the Guineas, Bo Echo, a brilliant winner of the race in Newmarket, 2,000 guineas, but Stad, you must have been delighted with his performance.
Yes, and we were delighted with him. He did everything right. He obviously landed where he did, and there was no cover where he was, and that's the way it was going to be played, and we always knew that could happen. And I suppose, as you know, Newmarket, it's a lonely place to be facing the light all the way down, and that's what he did. Ryan gave him a brilliant ride, and he ran a brilliant race on the day. The winner got a little bit of cover the first half of the race, and when you do that, when you come out, you have a little bit more of a kick, as you know. When you're out there all the time, like your kick off and wears away. So he did kick, and he kicked by him, and he was away from him, and our horse went a little bit right where the winner was left. So like we would love for them to meet again and look forward to it. So I'd imagine what'll happen is Gestad will go to the Curragh, and I think George's horse is going to go straight to Ascot, and I'd imagine what will happen, they'll meet in Ascot again. I think Puerto Rico that ran yesterday in France, and he could end up going there next as well. So the three of them could end up there. Puerto Rico, we kind of prepared him for Newmarket, and then we kind of decided to split them up, and that 6 days in between just got him. He was prepared for Newmarket. He went down a little bit on us, and he looked a little bit not prepared, a little bit rusty in France. So we think he'll leave that run behind him, and if they could all turn up together, and who knows, hopefully the French Guineas winner could turn up in Ascot as well, it would be very exciting.
Puerto Rico took him, what, 2, 3, 4 runs to get going last year?
100%, you have a good memory, Fran. That's exactly, like he took 4 runs.
Probably backed him somewhere.
No, he took 4 runs to win a maiden, I think, or 5 runs. I think actually when he won his maiden, it was in a Group 2 in Doncaster, and that's how long he took to get together. And obviously, hopefully that won't happen this year. So he was a little bit rusty looking yesterday. So hopefully the next day, and listen, it would be great if they all meet up there in Ascot in the St James's.
Okay, let's go to Leopardstown. And this is the big one, the Savile Begg Levermore Stakes, Group 3, mile 3/4, Scandinavia 2 to 9, Leinster 5 to 1, Dallas Star 12 to 1, 18's Happy Pharaoh, Le Destrier 33's Mont Saint Michel 300 to 1, all 6 go. One of the best horses in training, about to strut his stuff, we hope. Scandinavia, here's Gary.
And he's heading down the Kyprios route. Angus, little did we know at the time, but this was where the story would end for Kyprios 12 months ago when he sustained that injury and winning this for the 3rd year running. But it does really seem, Jane, to all intents and purposes, as though the Ballydoyle crew have got the perfect replacement in Scandinavia. Would you expect this to be every bit as straightforward as the price of 2 to 9 suggests?
On official ratings and on all known form, you do think that is going to be the case, and hopefully he'll breathe life into the staying division. We saw Rahieb earlier in the Yorkshire Cup, and there'll be Sweet William and Trawlerman no doubt will come back in their own right, but we do need some fresh blood in the division, and I think Scandinavia is exactly that. We're 2 days shy of when he broke his maiden last year. Of course, he had 3 runs as a juvenile, and he failed to win as a 2-year-old, and then he came back and he won at Navan around this time last year. And then after that, he won the Goodwood Cup on heavy ground, beating the older horses, beating Illinois and Sweet William, and then, of course, dropping back to his own generation at Doncaster to win the St. Leger, beating Rahieb, Stay True and Lambourne. He was an easy winner of his reappearance at Navan. He beat Leinster that day, and of course Dallas Star as well. And look, you'd have to think an official rating's 117. The price that he is, you and I saw him in the ring. He's got a bit of presence about him. Let's see what he can do.
Yes, Rahieb, of course, has done his stuff over on the Naysmire this afternoon. Pretty impressive, you'd have to say he was as well. The horse in shot there in the foreground, that's an interesting new recruit. Well, I say new recruit, he might have had him for a while, Willie Mullins, but Le Destrier is the horse in question, who is a well-travelled 7-year-old by Le Havre, and got some noteworthy form to his name on the continent, Jane, but entitled, I think, to need the run today. He is in the Gold Cup at Ascot, and he looked in great shape in the preliminaries. He's a horse with a bit of presence himself, isn't he?
He is. He's a big horse. He's a 7-year-old in the colours of Hip Hop de Loire. Of course, these owners have raced their horses in Poland, Germany and France, and have sent them to Willie Mullins thereafter. Of course, you mentioned this horse is an entry in the Ascot Gold Cup, which suggests he's doing the right things at home in Closutton. Look, he hasn't run since June of 24. The most palatable piece of form for us to digest is probably when he was 5th in the Grosser Press von Berlin in 2023. He was 5th behind Sinkemil and Sisfahan that day. That's good form, and he wasn't beaten all that far. He's useful form for different yards in France, Germany and Poland. He's a big horse. This is good ground. He's got big feet. I'd be interested to see how he gets on. Definitely intriguing would be the word I'd use.
Leinster is the clear second favourite here at 5-1. He, of course, was behind Scandinavia in the Vintage Crop Stakes first time up this season. Dallas Star was in between them that day, but he's a bigger price to confirm the form at Leinster here. How do you see it being run, Jane?
I don't really know. We're about to find out.
Fair enough. Let's go to Jerry.
White flag raised. They're loaded. They're up. And the featured fifth, the Savile Beg Levermore Stakes. It's a group race over a mile 6. A complete circuit ahead of the 6 runners. Dallas Star sets off to make it from Happy Pharaoh. Third is Scandinavia, and then Leinster, Mont Saint-Michel. Dropped in at the tail is Le Destrier. At the completion of the opening quarter, it's Dallas Star and Don O'Connor, leading by 2 lengths to Happy Pharaoh and Paddy Harnett. Closed upon by Scandinavia and Ryan Moore. And then Leinster and Dylan Brown McMonaghan. The last 2 are Mont Saint-Michel, Joey Sheridan and Le Destrier, Billy Lee. Just outside the final 10 furlongs is Dallas Star, maintaining an advantage of a couple of lengths, as Happy Pharaoh is joined for second by Scandinavia, a break of 4 to Leinster, and then Mont Saint-Michel. Trailing the field is Le Destrier. Down they go towards the 9. In front is Dallas Star by a little more than a length. Scandinavia now a definite second from Happy Pharaoh in third. And then Leinster, Mont Saint-Michel and Le Destrier. Heading towards the final mile, it's Dallas Star by under a length to Scandinavia. Pretty close now in second. Third is Happy Pharaoh, and then Leinster, Mont Saint-Michel, and 2.5 lengths back to Le Destrier, as they head for the 7 furlong point, marking the halfway stage in the Savile Beg Levermore Stakes. Dallas Star in front from the outset on the Don O'Connor, closely followed by Scandinavia and Ryan Moore, and then Happy Pharaoh and Paddy Harnett. Leinster continues in fourth, Dylan Brown McMonaghan, and then Mont Saint-Michel, Joey Sheridan, and lastly Le Destrier and Billy Lee. 5.5 furlongs to go. They head off the back straight. Dallas Star stalked a length back by Scandinavia, and then 2.25 lengths to Happy Pharaoh in third, and then Leinster, Mont Saint-Michel and Le Destrier. Just outside the concluding half mile, Dallas Star from Scandinavia nudged along in second. 2.5 lengths to Happy Pharaoh, just edging third from Leinster, pushed along 1 from last as Mont Saint-Michel, and finally Le Destrier. Heading back for the approach to the straight with 3 furlongs to go. Dallas Star from Scandinavia, followed by Happy Pharaoh. Leinster getting reminders as Mont Saint-Michel, and still last as they turn their heads for the judges, Le Destrier. Dallas Star from Scandinavia, who draws alongside, followed by Happy Pharaoh, and then Leinster. Le Destrier relegates Mont Saint-Michel to be the back marker. Scandinavia hits the front, racing towards the final furlong from Happy Pharaoh, who's running a big race. Switch to the inside as Le Destrier, followed then by Leinster. Scandinavia is all out here from Happy Pharaoh and Le Destrier as they go towards the line. Scandinavia, workmanlike in the Savile Beg Levermore Stakes, fended off Happy Pharaoh and Le Destrier.
Yes, a lot harder work than perhaps the price might have indicated it would be, but Scandinavia's got the job done, and there are definite echoes of Kyprios, I think, with him. Kyprios often didn't win by very far, Jane, but he won and won and won and just kept on winning, and that's what this horse is doing as well. That's his streak now, standing at 5. Huge run from Happy Pharaoh. Paddy Harnett in behind in the red and white, travelling really well. Scandinavia was off the bridle a long way from home. What were you thinking at this stage as they raced towards the final 3/4 of a mile?
I thought it was very obliging that Dallas Star was giving him a lead, but watch the horse from the back, Le Destrier. He makes a potent move in the home straight. He's run a stormer for his first run since June of 24. Happy Pharaoh was following along. Scandinavia, I think, written to hopefully run well and get as close to him as he can, and he nearly gave him a bit of a fright. There was a little bit of a nosebleed there, wasn't he? He was just like a fella on the ropes momentarily, but like you said, Gary, he's just a guy, pricks his ears, does enough, and hopefully that will attribute to the longevity that we had with a Kyprios, and we had with a Yates, and we had with a Fame and Glory. What those good stayers have, a Stradivarius should be thrown in there as well. They don't do a lot, they don't do it flash, but they win and they get the job done.
here we are then as they just make their way towards the turn for home. Dallas Star about to have to give best to Scandinavia, but the dangers were coming from further back in the field with Happy Pharaoh and then Ledestria, whose connections I'd imagine will be thrilled with this, Jane.
Absolutely. God, I thought for a moment he was going to flash home and take the race, but he actually, he for a big horse, he really quickened up in the home straight. They were doing 37, 38 miles an hour up the home straight here. It is good ground. But look, your winner grinds it out 2.5 miles at Royal Ascot. Will be a new test for him, but the way he